are connected and lives are transformed. So all right, all right. It is 1:31, and you are tuned into Heart Connections with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration, KineticHiFi.com. It is time for Heart Talk. This is the talk portion of our show. This is where we come to renew our minds and restore our hearts. This is the last segment of the show for today. And the segment is brought to you by my new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. And it's definitely something, it's a tool that you'll be able to use to help save you from your broken heart. Because let's be honest, many of us are dying literally on the inside, spiritually and emotionally dying. And we're dying due to broken hearts. And we don't have to die. We don't have to be hurting because of these broken hearts. But many times we just don't know what else to do. And I want, I just want you to understand that it's just so much more to life than what you've experienced. And a lot of times we've been talking about the cost of your testimony, the cost of you having a relationship, a close relationship with your creator, the cost of you surrendering your mistaken identity to embrace your true identity, the cost of what it's going to cost you, the price you pay in your relationships as you decide to grow and morph into the person that God has created you to be. And today, I just want to tell you, it's worth it. Hold on. I just played my song. That's my new song. I like that song. Holding on. Gregory Porter and Kim is like one of those old school. I feel like it's 2:00 and we still, it's one of those type of things. I'll be like at a wedding and I'll be like, y'all come on and play Holding On. One of those. I mean, it even goes with this beat, but it has so much more meaning to it. It is a catchy song, but for, any successful person that I've ever researched, and when I say successful, I mean, I deem them successful because they seem to enjoy what they're doing, where they're doing it, how they're doing it. Doesn't mean that they're without fault or without issues. It just means that they're really loving life. Every successful person I've ever researched, interviewed, talked to have all talked about the whole idea of delayed gratification. Understanding that when you sow seeds, you're not going to reap the harvest the very next day, almost never. You're going to have to go through a time of nurturing those seeds, a time of rain, a time of joy, a time of pain, a time of famine. You're going to have to go through all of those different cycles and different processes. And I just want you to hold on. It is going to cost you something. Your name may get dragged through the mud. You may have to deal with people who may hurt your feelings and treat you different ways. But let me tell you something. When you're getting your feelings hurt, when you're doing things that you know you're doing the right thing, it's usually God trying to strengthen you and polish you and refine you in that area so that you can just be the best self that you can be. And I don't ever want you to take light the impact that is made in the earth when you grow, when you're enlightened, when you see great things that are happening that that you're a part of. You're holding on. Don't, like, we were just talking, and this is why I'm doing the Help Save Me Heart classes. And if you want to register for the Help Save Me Heart classes, I encourage you to register online at theheartconnections.com. I'm also going to give you an option to register through Patreon. I will be opening up membership opportunities through my Patreon account. And I'm just putting that out there because I know a lot of the topics that I talk about are not topics that are easy for people to work on alone. And I want to offer a school, an opportunity, a class where we can go through these courses together, men, women, old, young, all of us working together to help each other and support each other as we go through this process. And I'm doing it because I know how hard it's been on this journey of self-exploration and learning to pay the price for me to live the life that God created me to live. And I know that I have not done this alone. And even the spaces that I've had to walk alone, I want to help others, at least support them and guide them as they go through this process of change and transformation, because you cannot afford to stay where you are. It is time for you to grow. It is time for you to do something different. And you're gonna have to invest in yourself. I'm one, like, I don't have money for that. I can't afford that. But I'll tell you something, you make time and money for things that you really need and you need to afford. And I feel like many of us are in a space where you need more attention. You need more support. You need to be more serious about your emotional wellness and your emotional healing. And you've been holding on. Now it's time for you to thrive. You've just been surviving. Now it's time for you to thrive. But you're not going to thrive if you stay in the same environment that you've been struggling in. You at least not staying there. You may need to leave and come back. You cannot hang with the same people and expect to get you. It's like insanity, doing the same things over and over, expecting to get a different result. That's not going to happen. Life just does not work that way. But we have to hold on. We have to be in this space where we're willing to do what it is that we need to do to get to where we need to be. And we're not gonna let the temporary storms that come stop us. If you're building a house and a hurricane comes through before your house is completed, it may slow down the building process, but it doesn't have to stop it. And at least you will know how strong that foundation really is and how much that house really can withstand. Even if it's delayed in being built, it's still going to get built. But that storm had to come through to make sure that everything was sturdy. And I feel like many of us have been going through storms and we've been holding on and we don't really understand. It's like, man, I don't know about this. I don't know if I can make it through. Like, you really been going through. And I just want to encourage you and I just want to let you know that it's not going to be like that forever. And it's worth whatever you've invested in. I know there are people going through right now, and I just want to let you know whatever you've invested in, you're going to get back. You just can't give up. It's like if you plant a plant and just before it buds fruit, you decide to dig it up out of the ground because it's not growing and it's just taking up space and you don't want to drain in the nutrients out of your ground. So you might as well just throw it away. Many of us are missing out in life right now because we don't want to go through. We don't want to wait for that. We don't want to go through that. I call it the ugly stage. We don't want to go through that difficult process. You might be starting a business and things are hard. So now you want to go back and get a job. Well, you can go get a job, but that's never going to stop that burning desire on the inside for you to bring that business out. You're just going to have to pay the cost. You might have to go through a couple years of not being able to do what you want to do. You might be struggling for a couple years, but you're laying a foundation. You're investing some things in yourself so that for 30, 40, 50 years down the line, you'll be set because of some sacrifices you made for 3 to 5 years. But see, we don't want to count those costs because we want to get instant gratification. We live in such a microwave society, and we have to get to the space where we're willing to go through. We don't have to just come out. We're willing to go through. We're willing to figure out whatever it is that we need to figure out so we can get wherever we need to be to do whatever it is that we need to do. You're worth it. When people tell me I don't have the money for it, or I'm not smart enough for it, or do you know where I'm from? Nobody in my family ever did that. All I hear is I'm not worthy of it, so I'm not going to try hard enough to get it. I need us to get clear. When we make excuses, almost always what we're making excuses, we're saying, I don't believe in myself. Today, I want you to know that when you decide to pay the price that's required for you to live your life to the fullest, it's going to force you to start to have a love and a respect for yourself that maybe you didn't have before. And that's what you want. You want to have a love and a respect for yourself that you didn't have, because that's how you go from survival to thriving. Too many of us have been in survival mode our whole lives. Our parents were in survival mode. Our grandparents were in survival mode. And it's weighing down on us in this day and time. We can no longer continue to live the way we've been living. We have to live differently. We have to do things differently. And it's worth it. It's really worth it. I know you might not think so, but it really is. I want the best for you. I want great things to come for you out of your life. But I know that you're going to have to stick around and weather the storm to get to experience it. I mean, it's just a cost you're going to have to pay. When I was giving birth to my last child, I thought I was going to die. I had not counted the cost of delivering a baby without an epidural. My mind had not wrapped around natural birth. And I literally thought I was going to die. I hadn't counted the cost, and it almost took me out. And I know some of y'all might be laughing, but I'm serious. I told my husband, I was like, I can't. I think I'm going to die right now. Because I didn't realize that I had a strength inside of me. I had never tapped into it because that strength came, it was an innate strength. It wasn't something I had to conjure up. It's something that it was a gift that God had given to me. But I tried to be so strong and do it my way for so long. I had never even allowed myself to tap into this beautiful, impenetrable strength that we all have in Christ Jesus that I had to tap into that day to get that 8-pound, 4-ounce baby out of my body. Because I just thought I was going to die. But guess what? He was so worth it. That's my little genius. And I just love him so. And when I think about him, I really don't think about that. I think about how cute he was. And all I could say was boom, boom. And that's why I call him my boom, boom right now. My little Christopher, my little professor, Dr. Christopher Brown. But he was worth it. But it cost me something. It cost me my figure. I gained about 65 pounds. It cost me a lot, but he was worth it. I mean, so worth it. And you can relate that to other areas in your life right now. But it's worth it. You can pay that price. You're worth it. You think about it. This has been Heart Talk with your heart coach, Adelai Brown, on your community station with international inspiration. Make sure you pre-order your copy of the new book, Help Save Me from My Broken Heart, Your Journey to Living and Loving Again. You can pre-order your copy at theheartconnections.com. Theheartconnections.com. Listen, we holding out. It's worth it. We're going to get through it. We're getting through the thick of it. Let's let Mary J. Blige help us out with that. We'll be back to close out after this. Heart Connections. High five. Get it, Mary. I ain't gonna sing. I don't want y'all to get mad at me, but Mary about to tear this thing up, y'all. All right, guys. Make sure you comment. If you have any comments, I'd love to hear from you. Subscribe, like the video, and share. This is Adelai Brown, your heart coach. Heal your heart, transform your life. Love you.